Hey guys, Romanian Reaper here. So, I have just got done watching Carry On Netflix. No, this is not a new installment in the Carry On franchise. Instead, this is a new thriller from Jaume Collet-Serra, who of course directed Black Adam and Jungle Cruise, as well as a bunch of Liam Neeson movies. This is obviously him leaning back into the sort of fare he would have made with Neeson, as opposed to, the big blockbuster fare of The Rock. And I know you hear the words Netflix original film and you groan a bit because, it's not exactly a barometer of quality, but the premise for this actually sounded pretty damn interesting, and it stars Taron Egerton, who is an actor that I like very much. So, what could possibly go wrong here? But does it deliver on its potential as a festive thriller? Let's find out. So the film follows Ethan Kopech, a young TSA agent who has been sleepwalking his way through life after a rejected police academy application. He heads out for work at the LAX airport, ready for the busiest day of the year, Christmas Eve. Only, it's not going to be a Christmas Eve like any other, because he is soon blackmailed by a mysterious individual into letting him bring his suitcase on board a departing flight, the contents of which could potentially be deadly. And so, Ethan, caught between a rock and a hard place, is forced to make a difficult decision between putting at risk the lives of 250 passengers on the flight or the life of his heavily pregnant girlfriend Nora, who is being held at gunpoint and ordered to be killed if he does not comply. So look, look, this what you're about to hear will shock you. In fact, I am shocked that I am actually about to say these words, but Netflix somehow actually made a good movie. Yeah, I very much enjoyed Carry On's a very entertaining, though, straightforward, contained thriller, sort of old school throwback to the likes of like Die Hard and Speed. In fact, ironically, this is set at Christmas, just like Die Hard, so we can enter this into the Christmas movie canon, just like that film. Now, you gotta be willing to suspend disbelief at some points because, some of its plot logic is a little bit preposterous, but by and large, it's consistently incredibly gripping and very entertaining. It may not always reach, the suspenseful heights that it so aspires to, but goddamn, there are some real edge of your seat moments here, especially a particularly tense diffusing scene. Oh my god, that, and there's a couple of the scenes where you're just like, just your real on edge stuff, consistently so damn gripping to watch. This is a consistently entertaining ride. Now, it does take a little bit to find its footing, because you obviously got to sit through, a whole bunch of like, some a fairly cliched setup regarding Ethan and his relationship with his girlfriend Nora, and his sort of like completely the drained passion of life, and his sort of banter with all his TSA co-workers. But once you sort of get through that, and the working day at the airport begins, yeah, that's when it sort of begins to really click into place and becomes a consistently entertaining ride. Now, it can at times sort of feel like it's outstaying its welcome because this is a 2 hour film, and anytime it sort of cut away from the airport to an LAPD subplot, I could sort of feel that runtime a bit, but it never was like boring or dragging itself on. You could definitely trim it a bit, and the pacing would be absolutely perfect. But I think part of the reason why I was so damn engaged in it is the performances. There's a pretty great set here. Obviously, Taron Egerton as Ethan does a great job. He does a really good job selling, the fact that Ethan is basically living life on autopilot. But sort of as events become more and more dire, as the stakes, rise, as events begin to pile up, you can really see that, sort of, sleepwalking demeanor, the cracks begin to show, and, Egerton really sells it, he absolutely has the chops to really make this work, and he does. On the flip side of things, you have Jason Bateman as the film's key villain, who remains unnamed for like the entirety of the runtime. And my god, he is such a great villain here. He is, he's cold, unflinching, and ruthless, He's got a certain level of nonchalance about, he's so nonchalant about the fact that, he's potentially putting hundreds of human lives at risk to carry out his job. And he does it so, so well. He is great. We also have Sophia Carson as Ethan's girlfriend, Nora, and I very much enjoyed her sort of little her chemistry with Egerton. It really allowed me to buy into their relationship and actually get invested. Of course, rounding it out, you've got the likes of Danielle Deadwyler. You also got Theo Rossi, who, yes, just recently was in The Penguin, so seeing him on screen, I was like, hey, that's Dr. Rush. I also have Logan Marshall Green, aka Discount Tom Hardy, and also Breaking Bad fans, Dean Norris is in this. So if you're a fan of the Breaking Bad universe, you'll enjoy seeing him in this. As it's a very well made film as well. I think it helps that. It actually manages to escape that Netflix fake movie curse by virtue of the fact that Serra is actually a pretty competent director. He knows how to stage these sort of, mid-budget, mid-level thrillers. And he does it, very, very well. There's some, very simple but very effective shots, whether it be like Jason Bateman stood in front of a burning building, or even a magnificently staged action scene inside a car where it never leaves the car's perspective. Obviously, it's enhanced by some pretty solid visual effects. It's incredibly well made, and obviously the fast-paced and high-tempo atmosphere is very much enhanced by Lorne Balfe's score, which of course does hit on notes which do sound very much reminiscent of his work on the Mission Impossible films. And in fact, keeping up the Mission Impossible theme, Taron Egerton runs a lot in this. Like he actually almost rivals the amount Tom Cruise runs in that franchise. It's goddamn insane. Obviously, by the time you get to the final act, there's some pretty satisfying place reveals and some very satisfying payoffs. That I left the film off on a good note, and as I left it, feeling very happy. Overall, Carry On, a very entertaining thriller. Very simple setup, executed very effectively. Goddamn, man, Netflix should have put this out at least a limited cinema run, because this probably would have played really well with an audience, but it is what it is, I guess, and hey, I'll probably watch this again next Christmas. Out of 10, Carry On gets a 7.5. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, have you seen Carry On? What did you think of it? What did you think of Taron Egerton? You think he did a good job? Did you think? What do you think of Jason Bateman as the villain? And what's your favorite sort of unconventional Christmas movie? Like, what's your favorite Christmas action movie, thriller sort of film? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.